Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me again today, and this story comes from Birmingham and it involves Aston Villa footballer Jack Grealish. He arrived in court today to receive his fine and driving ban for 2 incidents that happened during lockdown. He actually used the distraction technique by getting a Range Rover to pull up outside court and fooling the press to believe that it was him. He then came in the opposite direction to avoid the majority of photographs. Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish was banned from driving for 9 months and given an £82,500 fine after pleading guilty to 2 counts of careless driving. The midfielder arrived at Birmingham Magistrates Court just before 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning to hear his sentencing. Jack Grealish's black Range Rover pulled up outside the court. Photographers and reporters waited near the door to see the Villa skipper emerge, but Grealish was seen with a security guard further down the road coming in another entrance. The footballer was wearing a black face mask and talking on his phone, and he entered the building without acknowledging anyone outside. He was given his sentence and exited very swiftly from the building. He has received 5 caps as an England player and received a fine and driving ban after pleading guilty. The 25-year-old was also ordered to pay an additional £220 in costs and £181 victim surcharge. Grealish pleaded guilty to the driving offences that happened on the 24th of November, and the first one of which occurred in the UK national lockdown just a day after he posted a video on social media asking for people to stay at home and protect the NHS. We actually covered this story as well back when it happened. 2 other alleged charges against him were dropped last month due to lack of evidence, and Grealish's solicitor said the midfielder was deeply ashamed by the incident and genuinely sorry. And upon reflection, he should have modified his driving and not been involved in the original incident back in March. Mr. Grealish acknowledges his driving on these 2 occasions was very poor, said his defence solicitor, and he's genuinely sorry for what has happened. This has been problematic for his reputation and has reflected on his driving. He is very sorry and ashamed to be here in court, and he has never been in court before, and he is a man of good character. Grealish was involved in the incident the 29th of March at Waterside in Dickens Heath when his white Range Rover was seen colliding with several other vehicles. CCTV that was released by the police today shows the moment that his car mounted the curb, and another clip shows him walking down the road wearing 2 different coloured slippers on his feet and a light coloured t-shirt, a light coloured top and his hood up. A security guard confronted Grealish after the incident and said that he witnessed him colliding with a Mercedes and a Citroen van, and the footballer left his name, address and phone number. The man said he could smell alcohol on Grealish's breath, and his speech was slurred and a general unsteadiness on his feet. Grealish's solicitor said the odd footwear may have contributed to the incident in the first place. The footwear was totally inappropriate for driving, he said, and it may be an explanation as to why he reversed back the way that he did in the video. They said that he stayed at the scene and he told people at the scene that he would pay for the damage, and he has paid for the damage, and there is no application for compensation from the victim. He can afford to pay for it and he has done this. The court was shown dashcam footage of the second incident on Sunday the 18th of October. An unmarked police car is seen following Grealish on the 3rd lane of the M43 between junctions 6 and 7. He repeatedly approaches cars in front of him and makes an apparent attempt to force them out of his way. Police officers in the car were required to travel at speeds of up to 98 miles an hour to keep up with him, and after following him to Bodymore Heath Road near Villa's training ground, he was stopped by police turning on their sirens. One officer was heard to say, "Lovely, that will do," and Grealish explained that he was running late for training, and he said failing to turn up to training would have set a very bad example to his Villa teammates. He was going to training and running late. He's the club captain and he didn't want to be thought of badly by his peers, his defence said in court. If he could go back in time, he would. The police officer who spoke to him described Mr. Grealish as polite, calm and compliant. He apologised for his driving, which shows his immediate remorse in relation to that. The prosecutor asked the judge to issue a driving ban of more than 6 months based on the evidence, and although the defending solicitor objected to this, the judge said that he would not be swayed by any suggestions and would make his own mind up. Grealish already had 6 points on his licence for a previous driving offence, and the defence said that he knew he was going to lose his licence, but he said a disqualification of more than 6 months was inappropriate. This is definitely an embarrassing story for Jack Grealish, especially due to the fact that he's had a good reputation. He's done a lot of charity work, and recently he trended on Twitter as well when a recent picture of him in bed with a woman topless emerged online as well. But back in 2019, Jack Grealish helped to raise funds for a boy called Harrison. He was undergoing treatment for a rare form of leukemia, and he's a big Jack Grealish fan, and Jack Grealish took the time out of his day to help him and also go and meet him as well. And there's a lot of different examples of Jack Grealish doing these sort of things. So really and truly, he's young, he's at the top of his profession, he's enjoying his life, he's made several mistakes, but I'd like to think that he doesn't do this again and does continue to set a good example in relation to the charity work and everything that he's doing with his football and his career. So I really appreciate you joining me for this story. I really want to hear what people have to say on this. I try and get back to as many people in the comments as possible. Don't forget to follow us online as well at Scarcity Studios, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.